Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction for Boku no Hero Academia Chapter 333, and I think we're continuing on with this fight. Maybe we'll start to move toward the end of it, but I could see, since we saw Endeavor last time, I guess I could see it being interrupted. But last time it looked at least like Shigaraki finally touched Star, so it might be over. Kind of unclear. I will not lie, and I've been saying it on the week to week. I'm not super invested in this fight in the sense that I really like Shigaraki, but this whole kind of half Shigaraki, half all for one thing. I'm just kind of whatever on it. And Star is a character that, yeah, she's nice and all, but I haven't had a long time with the character or anything. I don't really know her, you know? It's not a character we've built up for a long time or anything, so I'm not super duper invested. And you know, if you've been watching, that I have been highly praising like everything this year in terms of just the post sort of Liberation War stuff. It's all been so good. But yeah, I've just been kind of meh on this fight, and I think that's just one of those things that you get when you're reading week to week, because if you're marathoning through this, like, these are combat chapters, so they don't take long to read. You could probably make it through this fight in like 15-20 minutes if you're marathoning through like months from now. But just on the week to week, it's like, okay, for the past month or two, it's like, okay, this week we get a part of the fight, next week we get another part of the fight, and yeah, I've just not been as not been as invested as when we were dealing with characters that, of course, we've been following for like forever. But either way, let's get into seeing what happens this time around. What set me on edge, like nothing else, was the thought of New Order and One for All colluding. Alright, number 333, Spectre. I put a stop to the Safety Commission and got my overseas associates to stir up trouble in order to delay the convergence of foreign heroes upon Japan. I planned to perfect this body and steal One for all before challenging New Order. One for All, the accumulated power that could foil all my designs. Once it was mine, all the other conspiring forces of the world, including New Order, would have been ants before me. Whether you knew it or not, this most likely unsanctioned, free-spirited early visit of yours was the one scenario I hated to imagine. Placing this incomplete body on the front line was a gamble I was forced to make. And then he lets go. But I've won this roll of the dice, USA. Kathleen Bate, I won't decay. Ah, she took the hit for my sake. You total idiot. I'm done for. It exceeded the cap of my endurance boost. I've stolen it. Idiot, you say. I have to agree there. Your body began decaying the moment I absorbed your quirk. New Order requires those verbal commands, so you couldn't protect yourself as it was being stolen. You prioritized saving your own skin and lost everything in the process. This is where it truly begins, Yoichi. The stories I read with you that day. You thought I didn't realize there was more to the story. Wrong. New Order. I knew how it would go. So I chose to stop reading there. The air is... And he sees this vision of her, I guess within the sort of quirk nexus within we've seen before. And then, oh, his body starts reacting and bursting apart. Tomoda's bursting apart. What's going on? My quirks are exploding out. Hang on, you think that maybe... Star. That's right. There was no time to blow him up with your plane, so I set a new rule at the last second. New Order revolts against other quirks. Interesting. So I thought this was all going to be a setup for Shigaraki to just be an even more all-powerful antagonist, gaining Star's ability. But if this is how it is, and New Order could actually be a way to nerf All for One, by destroying some of the quirks within it. Kathleen Bate, the worst case, would have been dying and having my quirk stolen outright. Sure, it would have been nice to protect my body too. As an added bonus, too bad. Stopping this global menace, in exchange for just my life, it's a small price to pay. Bros, thanks for everything. Star, this backlash against my other quirks, like a cannibalistic invader, this is dire. I can only steal quirks or bestow them. I can't just dispose of one. I must give it away. The pilots, I'll force it on one of them. And they all fire. Star's still fighting the good fight inside that scumbag. It's working. He's ready to fall apart. Keep lighting him up, boys. So again, by the time he dumps off New Order, it'll be interesting. By the time he dumps it off, I wonder if it will have stripped a lot of his powers. Star's sacrifice isn't going to go to waste on our watch. My reflect quirk has been destroyed. So yeah, we're seeing him lose quirks. Because you saved me back then, I got to indulge in this lovely dream of mine. And we see her continuing to decay. All Might, this is me returning the favor. Curses, quickly, damn it. Damn you, Spectre of All Might. And we get cliffhung once again. So now we have the interesting aspect in the story of who is he going to dump New Order off on? Because I don't think this is going to be the end of, like, All For One, obviously. He's like the main villain. But it's going to be interesting. So instead of a way of buffing him, this is a way to nerf him. But also just the fact that it could be important to the storyline. Like, again, I doubt this is going to happen because we still have the Dobby subplot. But say a character like Endeavor did finally show up, and he thrusts New Order onto them, then they would lose their old quirk and likely die, because we know of, unless you have the, like, physical, the sort of physical meddling that goes on with the Nomu, your body can't handle 2 quirks and you die. So it is interesting that whoever this quirk gets passed on to might also die or something. But at the very least, it could be important to what's going on in the story. So yeah, that is a cool way to do things that I didn't really expect. Again, I feel like this maybe could have been better if we had built up Star a little bit more. Because, like, this heroic sacrifice is amazing. I'm just like, I kind of, like, imagine if this heroic sacrifice came from a character we had known for a long time or something. So I do think it's good. I kind of wish, like, it could have had a little bit more emotion to it. But I'm very interested to see, like, how this gets resolved, because there's still a lot hanging in the air. But yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching this time around. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this chapter and my thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for more Hero Academia, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you'd like to help support the channel on Patreon, it is patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. Either way, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.